Hey guys, Chase Crawford here from The Boys. Please don't watch this interview yet if you have not seen episode 2 of The Boys. Eric always likes to do these meta, like, I think the first season it was a soy sauce commercial for The Deep, and there's like a Calvin Klein ad as well, and like underwear that was like sort of the material from my suit. But Billy Zane was there for the trailer we did with Not Without My Dolphin, and I think we want to shoot the movie. Actually, it's going to be a great B movie. But no, it was a lot of fun. That was like the first week on set, really, and they put some of it in episode 2 right at the top. It's longer. Space spores. It's incredible.
So, where at what do you work?
The tower, social media, up on 47. I'm sorry, you said you don't get many potential parents?
Well, you know what kind of a home we are, right?
Yeah. No, of course, it's a group home for the super abled.
Mason, please get down from there.
We knew that we wanted this idea of really a foster home for superpowered kids, because it sort of stands to reason that a certain percentage of them would accidentally kill their parents. And so where do they go? And then that came from Red River, which is it's sort of like an Easter egg nod to the comic books. It's a term that's used in the comics. And so when Justin Roiland pitched us his idea, and he said, I want to do like this group home where all these freaks live, we said, well, we actually are doing a pretty similar home in The Boys, so we should have it be the same thing and have it be a tie-in. It is not the last you will see of Red River. Red River becomes an interestingly bigger and bigger part of The Boys universe. I will spoil that.
I'm so deeply weary of using the word villain, because I think she struggles throughout season 3. The decisions that she makes quite a few sacrifices that are very personal to her and kind of ultimate betrayals of the people closest to her. And I think that intensely affects her. We've typically seen her make decisions where she's like, yep, this is necessary, I understand it, it's all a means to an end, I'm on board with this. But we see her very much going through a tumultuous state and kind of struggling with those decisions throughout this season.
During season 2, we had to figure out like exactly what Neuman was doing and why, so it had a reason in a sense, even if it was mysterious to the audience. And so we arrived at that, she was in league with, Stan Edgar, and then as it evolved from there, it evolved into, well, what if they have a father-daughter relationship? Because, Stan is always so, like, officious, but you never see him you had never seen him up to that point with a heart. And we were really interested in, like, who does he feel emotional about? Like, who's his sentimental blind spot? And it seemed like Neuman was the perfect character for that.
Learning her backstory actually really, really assisted me, as it does with any character. I mean, like, I was desperate to know more about Neuman, because in season 2, she's kind of this unassuming politician, and she's shrouded in mystery, and you don't really get the full picture. And it was really nice to just kind of have those pieces of information that make sense about who she is today and how she operates, and it just kind of, it puts more pieces of the puzzle together. So any kind of history that I can get on her, however traumatic, just deeply assists me in knowing why she is the way she is and how to play her.
And then if you go back and you watch in season 2, like everything she does, because it's sort of like, why did she blow up this person's head and why that person's head? But if you look, like, the person who benefits the most from every single one of those things is Stan Edgar.
She comes from a horrifically traumatic childhood event, and then she gets taken under Stan Edgar's wing, and obviously the way that she operates in the world is very much influenced by the way Stan Edgar operates in the world. So
it all kind of ties together. And in fact, like, her very first introduction, Raynor's head explodes, and Huey's like, our head's gonna explode, and who was that? And then you cut to Victoria Neuman on camera on a news report, and then you cut to Stan Edgar watching her with sort of this look on his face. And, you know, he's watching and quietly proud of his daughter.
Butcher knows exactly what he's doing, and he has the presence of mind to know that there are massive pitfalls, and that once he crosses this threshold, that there may be no coming back. You know, he is aware that that it could have long-standing, deep implications, not only for himself but for everybody else around him. And you know, and he puts certain pieces of the certain pawns in place to safeguard against any eventualities. Butcher taking Temp V is definitely a very slippery slope. You know, again, you know, to turn himself into the thing that he despises the most in order to defeat that thing has huge consequences for Butcher. But at the same time, I think that there is something else that is even more powerful, and that is the feeling of being satiated in the satisfaction that finally you were able to make a difference, and finally you were able to level the playing field and take one of these soups down. And I think that has an addictive quality, and that's very much, you know, metaphorically, you know, we are exploring the nature of addiction this season, and it's like in true boys fashion, if you make the right choice you get rewarded, and if you make the wrong choice you get punished.
I was really interested in getting into Gunpowder this year because it's always really interesting to sort of like talk about gun culture and the NRA and, you know, and the way everything in the world is just heating up. So it felt like it was a good clean target for that.
Yeah, I mean, I loved working with Sean. I mean, it was, I think all of us collectively felt like it was such a shame that what happened to his character happened, that, you know, it's like, because he came in and he just knocked it out of the park, and he was, you know, wonderful to work with, and just brought a immediately identifiable can-do attitude, and that always goes a long way with everybody. The
model for Gunpowder is that guy who's the president of the NRA, like Wayne LaPierre. That was who we chose for Gunpowder. Kind of meets Charlton Heston. Kind of meets. Not that those guys aren't. Maybe that was just implied.
Probably one of my most favorite scenes this season was actually with Sean in the urinal, where Butcher's pretending to be some kind of rabid fan, and it was fun to play.
He's always had a mummy, and in a very strange way, a daddy. There was Vogelbaum, and then in a maybe less overt and twisted way, Stan Edgar has always been a father figure to him. Maybe in the very Oedipal way of, like, you know, sleep with the mummy and kill the daddy. So this is really him branching out. I think season 1, he broke free of his immediate mummy figure in Stillwell by killing her, and went out on his own. Season 2, he fell in with arguably the love of his life in Stormfront. That didn't end well, as we know. This is the first time he's really on his own, and the phrase "be careful of what you wish for, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it" was kind of my mantra for the whole season. No, so that speech was basically the emancipation for Homelander of all that pent-up tension, and coming off that conversation with Butcher, having found this new purpose and this new direction to go, but still having those other forces like Stan Edgar and Starlight really trying to keep him in that corner, but he's a little bit more empowered now. So it leads to this very combustible moment where he basically just lets rip. And I think, you know, I mean, if there's one thing Trump is, it's out there and open. He says whatever he wants, literally just says what he wants. And I think that is a similarity. That's definitely, it's not unintentional that that's in there like that. But that moment for the character is, as is said in the speech, you know, it's actually a lifetime of of being a packaged product, being pushed, prodded, shoved, and instructed, and used basically by a corporation, that he just loses it in that moment. And then deeply regrets it and panics about it. He's always been the actor that wants to produce the show, as Eric loves to say. He's wanted to be the boss. So now he becomes the boss, but with that comes a lot of unexpected challenges, and quite frankly, he's just completely ill-equipped to deal with anything that he's got to deal with.